Arcanum number 12, the Apostolate, the Hanged Man. Meanings: delays, waiting, illness, transition, sacrifice, divination. Reversed meanings. The reversed meanings of challenging cards tend to be beneficial. In this case, waiting periods are over, transitions are complete, and debts are being repaid. Description of the card. In the waters of life, the Pentacle of Solomon, a variant on the six-pointed star. The three upper points represent the three traitors of Hiram Abif, the internal Christ, Judas, Pilate, and Caiaphas, desire, mind, and ill will. In the middle are two columns each with 9 rungs. This is the 9th sphere. Sex, we should remember that there are 9 heavens, the white column, and 9 infernal regions, the black column. We have to descend a rung in order to ascend one. Between the 2 columns, there is a man hanging by 1 foot with his hands tied together. With his feet, he forms a cross, and with his arms, the inverted triangle. This figure represents the fact that sex dominates reason. It is necessary to invert the symbol. Esoteric meaning of the Arcanum. Arcanum number 12 represents the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 apostles, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 hours of cooking of the alchemists, the 12 faculties hydrogen S112. Arcanum number 12 is the Apostolate. The figure of a man hanging forms a triangle with the apex facing downwards, and his feet form a cross above the triangle. All of the work has as its objective to acquire the soul. That is, to achieve the ligament of the cross with the triangle. This is the great work. The 12th card of the tarot is sexual alchemy. The cross of man must unite with the triangle of the spirit by means of sexual fire. In the Chinese tradition, 10 trunks, shikan, and 12 branches are spoken of. That is to say, the 10 sephirot and the 12 faculties of the human being. It is necessary to know that the 7 chakras and the 5 senses are the 12 faculties. Unquestionably, the spinal column has 7 magnetic centers. These are the 7 chakras, or the 7 churches of the Apocalypse of St. John. 1. Ephesos, base of the spinal column, 4 petals. 2nd Esmirna, level of the prostate, 6 petals. Tercer Pergamos, nivel del plexo solar. 10 petals, 4 Thyatira, in the heart, 12 petals, 5 Sardis, creative larynx, 16 petals, 6 Philadelphia, between the eyebrows, 2 petals, 7 Laodicea, in the pineal gland, 1,000 petals. These are the 7 chakras, and with these, plus the 5 senses, one becomes an investigator of the superior worlds. These are the 12 faculties of each human creature. The universe came from the Chinese Huoltum, chaos. The 10 trunks and the 12 branches also came from chaos, which in alchemy is the ens seminis, within which is contained the ens virtutis, the materia prima of the great work. This is the entity of being of Paracelsus. This entity becomes the philosophical stone, or lapis philosophorum, so sought after by the medieval alchemists. The whole mysterium magnum is found enclosed in that summa materia. These are the Latin terms for the Arcanum AZF. The alchemist must extract from within this menstrum universalis, chaos, all the potable gold or sacred fire, that which must rise through the spinal medulla, opening the 7 churches. Once we have extracted the potable gold, we are able to unite the cross with the triangle. That is to say, the cross man must join with our immortal triad. We must incarnate the spirit. It is only in this way that we become a human being. Before achieving this, we are only intellectual animals. The great work, or magnum opus, is represented by Arcanum number 12 of the tarot. The arms of the figure form the triangle, his feet the cross. His head is the ligament of the triangle with the cross by means of potable gold. According to the Chinese, the god Fuji, the Adam Christ, was born at midnight on day 4 of the 10th moon and at precisely 12 years. The Virgin Hoase, passing along the bank of the river, the seminal fluid, formed the Christ within her womb on placing her foot upon the footprint of the great man. All of these dates are very interesting. Day 4 is the 4 elements. In the 10th is the secret of the Lingam Yoni. It represents the 10 Sephirot and the circle with the line dividing it in half, the mystery of sex. The 12 is the 12 faculties needed to incarnate the Christ in the heart. There is a profound study of Arcanum number 12 in the 12th key of Basil Valentine. Just as the lion transforms the serpent into its own flesh when it devours it, so too the power of Devi Kundalini, the sacred fire transmuted, eliminates its defects, its errors. What is important is the Magna Obra, the key you already know, the Maituna. The alchemists must work for 12 hours to obtain the ferment of the gold. Here is the number 12. Whoever possesses fermented gold can have the joy to really be. The essence, or fraction of incarnated soul, is trapped in the pluralized I, or ego, which is within the animal mental body and the lunar body of desire. It manifests by means of the physical body. We differ from the animals only because of the intellect, because animals also have mind, but not the intellect. The authentic man needs to eliminate the ego and fabricate the solar bodies with the transmutation of HC12, 12 laws. The fabrication of the solar bodies has an intimate relationship with music and its 7 notes. Hydrogen C12 is produced in the human organism, being initiated from the process of digestion, do when the food is in the mouth, re when it reaches the throat, mi when it reaches the level of the lungs, fo when it reaches the stomach, spleen and liver soul, when it reaches the solar plexus, la when it reaches the colon and pancreas, and c when hydrogen C12 is produced. After the note Si comes do again, which corresponds to the next higher octave and another musical scale. C can be elevated to a higher musical octave by restraining the sexual impulse and ejaculation. This is how HC12 passes through to a second octave, giving rise to the solar astral body. Through a third shock, the hydrogen will pass to a third octave, which will give rise to the solar mental body. A fourth octave gives birth to the body of conscious will. All this work is with the Maituna. Once in possession of these 4 vehicles, our divine being will enter through the pineal gland, and we will then attain the second birth and become true men. Whilst we have the lunar animal bodies, we are still mere intellectual animals, only a chrysalis that has the potential to be transformed into a celestial butterfly. This is attained through super efforts. The nutriment of the physical body is in H48, 48 laws. If we conserve this hydrogen, it can be transformed into H24, 24 laws, which serves as nourishment for the solar astral body. This hydrogen, 24, is wasted with excessive work, futile efforts, desires, emotions, rages. H12 is the nourishment of the solar mental body. It is wasted with intellectual efforts. If we save it, H6 will be obtained to nourish the body of conscious will. Whoever has the superior existential bodies of the being has the right to incarnate his divine triad, Atman, Bodhi, Manas. Then it is said, a new son of man has been born, a master, a Mahatma. All of which is written in the apocalypses for the final days. We must inform humanity that the final days have already arrived. The whole of poor humanity is divided into 12 tribes. All of humanity develops and unfolds within the zodiacal matrix. The zodiac is a womb within which humanity is gestated. The 12 tribes can only receive the sign of God on their foreheads by practicing the Arcanum AZF, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, Apocalypse 7.4. And of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000, and of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of each one of the 12 zodiacal tribes, there are only 12,000 sealed. We have here arcanum number 12 of the tarot. We have here the ligament of the cross with the triangle. We have here sexual magic. We have here the realized work, the living man who touches the earth with no more than his thought. From each of the 12 tribes of Israel, only 12,000 sealed will be saved from the great cataclysm. This quantity is symbolic. Only they who have achieved the ligament of the crossman with the triangle spirit will be saved. We find the following dealing with the New Jerusalem. And it had a great and high wall, and it had 12 gates, the 12 zodiacal doors of the universe and in man. And at the gates 12 angels, zodiacal angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, the 12 types of humanity, in accordance with the influence of the 12 zodiacal signs. Apocalypse 21st of December. As above, so below. Man has 12 faculties governed by 12 atomic angels. 12 zodiacal signs exist in starry space and in man. It is necessary to transmute the sexual energy and make it pass through the 12 zodiacal doors of the human organism. The prophet continued speaking of the 12 zodiacal doors in this way. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. Apocalypse 21.13. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Apocalypse 21.14. The 12 zodiacal signs and the 12 energetic spheres which mutually penetrate and interpenetrate without confusion. Solar humanity is realized totally within the 12 planes. Arcanum number 12 is the foundation of the celestial Jerusalem. The 12th arcanum is the symbol of sexual alchemy. This is the sacrifice and the realized work. One must work with gold and silver. One must work with the moon and the sun to raise the celestial Jerusalem within each person. The gold and the silver, the sun and the moon, are the sexual forces of man and woman. In Arcanum 12 is enclosed all the science and philosophy of the great work. In the Christonic semen is hidden the living and philosophical secret fire. The mysticism of all the old initiates is that of sexual alchemy. The philosophy of sexual alchemy has its beginning in the school of the Essenes, in the school of Alexandria, in the teachings of Pythagoras, in the mysteries of Egypt, Troy, Rome, Carthage, Eleusis, in the wisdom of the Aztec, the Maya, etc. The science and systems of sexual alchemy must be studied in the books of Paracelsus, Nicholas Flamel, Raymond Lully, and others. We also find the procedures hidden behind the veil of the symbols, contained in many of the inscrutable forms of the old hieroglyphs of many ancient temples, in the Greek and Egyptian myths, etc. You who seek initiation, you who read so much, you who live fluttering from school to school, always seeking, always desiring, always yearning, always longing. Tell me sincerely, have you already awakened Kundalini? Have you already opened the 7 churches of your spinal medulla? Have you incarnated the Lamb? Answer me, dear reader. Be sincere with yourself. Place your hand upon your heart and answer me with sincerity. Have you realized yourself? Are you certain that with your theories you will become a god? What have you achieved? What have you attained with all your theories? He who wants to self-realize needs a revolution of consciousness, to die, to be born, and to sacrifice. A revolution of consciousness when we decapitate the I. A revolution of consciousness when we make the solar bodies. A revolution of consciousness when we incarnate the being. Up until then, we do not have real existence,